Hello and welcome to my channel. If you'd like to join any of my weekly meetings or book a private session with me, please click on the links below or go to my website. Quick announcement for a start. Tuesday at... Hi Dorothea, thank you. Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, hope you are too. Tuesday is the Nothing FM my talk. It's at 5 p.m. UK time. There's details on my website if you are interested. So after all the things that people say, all the talks that people give, all the pointers that people give, all the pointers there are in the world, all the books, all the ideas, all of that sure can be inspiring, because inspiration comes from all over the place, doesn't it? Can come just from yourself, but it comes from all over the place. But if there's a pointer saying there's something you're missing, what you have to do then is you have to enter into what we call belief. To believe something means that you don't know. It's different from faith. Belief, to believe something means I don't know. When really, you don't need to know. I don't need to know that there is a possible, invisible something that I need to get, or I need to make my life perfect, or that I need as the end game. Because the most obvious thing is all there is. As far as we're concerned, everything else is just hearsay, really, and it doesn't really matter. But what we do know is that we're here, in whatever that means, in whatever capacity that means. I don't know what that means for anyone else, but I know what it means for me. And it means that I'm just here. And the interesting thing will be on Tuesday, because everybody who will be listening will be very used to having the words you, me, I all boxed into little boxes, which mean certain things. But I find that if one does that, it makes those words into something special, which they're not. They're just terms that we use. And even if there's a feeling with those terms, it doesn't make them into anything. It just is the case. When we put something in a special category or in a special box, we make it into a thing. So non-duality has put the word me into a special box. And what's going to happen to most people is they're going to say, oh, but I still feel like a me. Or we could reinterpret that and say, well, I feel like I'm just here. I'm just here. This is my life. This is me. This is my life. Which doesn't mean that's to say that there is a me which is operating as a kind of a fake entity. There is no fake entity anywhere, unless we want to go into some sort of belief system that there is. Because that's what happens, isn't it? We go into a belief system about terminology and concepts behind that terminology, and then think that we have to do something about that terminology in order to get to a new terminology. And all the time, you're just here. The whole time, through all those processes of terminology and concepts, the most obvious thing is, well, I'm just here. I haven't actually got anywhere. And through the process of working with those concepts, there is a belief that I'm going to get to this special place where then I'll be just here. Or I'll just be here and everything will be perfect. Well, it's not going to be perfect because these human bodies are a fact of nature and they are subject to situations and conditions which make it not perfect. My cat all day has non-perfect situations. He's always hungry, and his non-perfect situation is it not being time for dinner yet. So he gets aggravated and tetchy and meows around my feet and harasses me. Because that's the case. We're subject in life to situations that we don't like. But it doesn't mean if we don't like something, it doesn't mean that life isn't perfect. It just perfectly is what it is. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the person who's experiencing those feelings. There's this ideal that we shouldn't be experiencing discomfort and feelings that we don't like. Who says? And try not. And try not having them. It's impossible. And they don't matter. They just come and go like everything else. Like the weather, like the sun, like hunger, like physical pain, anything. It just comes and goes. It's just this constant waving motion of life happening. And yet, through the seeking path, the tendency is to put all these things into boxes of good and bad when they're just inevitable. This is inevitable, and here it is being inevitable. And so when we're going off down the seeking path, looking for like getting a certain box and opening that box and hoping there's a prize inside of it, we're just not enjoying life. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? It's the enjoyment of life. But there's the idea that the enjoyment of life is to never be disgruntled or frustrated. Well, the enjoyment of life is those things not being a bother. That they just happen. And then we try to move out of them as quickly as possible. You know, it's pissing with rain here at the moment, and I don't like to stand in it for too long. But I don't gaslight myself by saying, well, there's nobody not to enjoy the rain. Sometimes I enjoy rain, but it's cold rain. So in that vein, Tuesday will be interesting because some of the people won't be used to speakers using words normally, in a normal sense, without them being absolutely loaded with meaning. Then they become troublesome. And it's just this constant day in and day out struggle trying to find the meaning in something, whether we know we're doing it or not. But, you know, the wonderful thing is, because there's only me here, and for you, only you there, because that's all there is, and that's not a mystery, that is the living experience happening. There's no outside authority to tell you that. Only you know that. And if you think you don't know that, it's probably because there's some concept running that I don't know it, or to know it is knowing, and therefore knowing is a me, or it's a this or a that. You just know it. You just know you're sat in a room. Unless, you know, you've got the kind of mind that just goes off into semantics land or sophistry land or something like that, where it's arguing its fundamental conceptual case of, well, this is not, I'm not here. It's like, okay, if that's where you want to go. And I'm always, happy to have those conversations, but we're just here having that conversation. It's still here, whether we argue the case that it's here or not. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't change the fundamental matter at hand, that we're just here. And nobody knows what that is for you or me. Nobody. Nobody has the answer for that. And it's a kind of an uncomfortable thing for a lot of people, because they want someone to have the answer. They want someone to have the answer for them. But what that does is it makes one completely powerless. Hand over all the reins to some random human being because they know better about me being here than I do. And that's just not true. And what's uncomfortable about that, excuse me, is it just puts, I guess it could create a few things, couldn't it? It's just, there's a sense of responsibility, but there's no responsibility in that way. There's only human behavior responsibilities, but not the responsibility of knowing that this is it. This is it. And no one has an answer that is better than that. No one has an answer better than you knowing that it's just you there. It's just your experience, or whatever you want to call it. Your living experience. My living experience. No one can tell me that my living experience isn't the whole. You get these ones that say, oh, they haven't got it. It's like, got what exactly? That's not true, because I have everything there is. You have everything there is. There is nothing else to have. But that thing of they don't have it is a complete gaslight and conceptual and just not true. Because as far as I'm concerned, sitting here, this is the whole of everything. It's timeless, spaceless, ageless, fascinating, perplexing, unknowable, incredible, elegant in design. The intelligence of just being here in the room with all the things, everything, whatever that is intelligent design. A creation that is unbelievable. And then comes along someone and gaslights it. It says, oh, you're not there yet. When in reality, you are the elegant creation, being itself. And to not be gaslighted about that, you could say, is complete sovereignty. It's freedom, but not freedom from being a human being. Because I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be in a blissed out state all the time. My character just isn't like that. My character's I'm quite busy. I'm a busy person. I'm intrigued by loads of things, and I research and I do lots of things. There's no time for blissed out states because I do what I want without any hindrance or any gaslighting from some concept that I've taken on about how my life should be. And I think fundamentally, when we get down to it, we really just want to enjoy our lives. We really just want to be as happy as we can be. But there's no chance of enjoying life when we're chasing after something which is somebody said that we're not good enough, or you got to be like this or like this, when you know full well that you're just not. I know full well what kind of person I am and what I do enjoy and what I don't enjoy. And I really think that that's what, for most people, I think that's what life comes down to in the end. I also think that when we were recovered from all the gaslighting about how we should be, then it's possible that if you're that way inclined to search into the mysteries of the universe, if you're that way inclined, because not everybody is. I mean, some people just want a peaceful life. But if you are that way inclined, then you don't have all those concepts and ideas hindering you from what you can and can't look at and enjoy.